Thank you for tuning in to No Flag Radio. I'm your host, P. Hollering at y'all. Today we talking about our brother EJ Bradford Jr., who was assassinated in a Hoover, Alabama mall. And Mike Anderton is the DA in this case, or was the DA in this case. He's not in office anymore. And one of his last acts in his tenure as a DA was he pawned the case off to the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency the day after the shooting, which was the 23rd. I'm gonna read the press release from the ALEA and what they said after the case got pawned off to them by the DA, Mike Anderton. It says, DA Anderton requested ALEA's State Bureau of Investigation to take the lead in an officer-involved shooting involving Hoover Police Department, as well as a shooting that occurred prior to the officer-involved incident at the same location. The request was submitted collaboratively by the DA, Jefferson County Sheriff Mike Hale, Sheriff-elect Mark Pedway, and Hoover Police Chief Nick Durzis to ensure an independent and transparent investigation by an outside agency with Hoover PD's full cooperation. The State Bureau of Investigation agreed to lead the investigation of both events, and State Bureau of Investigation agents engaged with Hoover PD and Jefferson County Sheriff Office investigators to determine information that has developed to date. The events in question occurred Thanksgiving night in one of Alabama's largest indoor shopping venues. Once the SBI, that's the State Bureau of Investigation, completes its investigation, the file in its entirety will be turned over to the 10th Judicial Circuit District Attorney's Office. SBI does not release information in relation to ongoing pending investigations. So much was said in that, so I just want to dig into it a little bit. First of all, the request to pawn this case off to the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, as they listed, was done by these characters: Sheriff Mike Hale, Sheriff-elect Mark Pedway, and Hoover Police Chief Nick Durzis. So I looked into these guys a little bit. Sheriff Mike Hale, he is a guy on some anti-terrorism task force type shit. You know, when I hear anti-terrorism, I think, okay, pro-Christian, pro-white, 3%er type of shit. And y'all should think that shit too, right? Sheriff-elect Mark Pedway, he's a black dude, and he's the next sheriff up in Hoover. And you know, I went through his resume. He's all about criminal justice reform, so we know what that means, locking black people up. He talks that community policing shit. Well, that sounds just like Renee damn Hall punk ass out here, what she was doing in Detroit, and she was all about this, bridging the gap between law enforcement and the community, yada, yada, yada. He's talking that same shit too. All right? And further in his resume, he talks about law enforcement training. And black people out there in Hoover, Alabama, y'all need to watch out for this dude. In Jefferson County, I should say. And all the surrounding areas of Jefferson County. Because this dude, Sheriff-elect Mark Pedway, he's about building a new metro jail out there in that area. In the county of Jefferson. And he's talking about he wanted to be a super jail. So if I know about it, I know y'all know about it. If y'all don't, please listen up. He's trying to build a super jail out there to house Jefferson and other counties who put in on it type of prison. Like, so if you want to send your prisoners out there to this super jail he trying to build, and you know they ain't finna build no super elaborate jail for the fuck of it to lock up their police officers when their police officers kill black people. They not building it for their sons and daughters. So this Mark Pedway character, he's getting into the jail business. And that's what it is. And he sounds so proud. I was watching one of his interviews off of his main site, and he just sounds so happy about this super jail that he's planning to build out there. So we want to see where this shit gonna go. And the last person I brought up that submitted this request to the ALEA to accept the pawning of this case off came from Chief Nick Durzis. He's one of these FBI National Academy Associates. That's some Renee Hall shit. He's on some super cop shit like Renee Hall. And he's the guy that came out and said, we're very, very proud of the response by officers. He was the guy that came out talking all that shit. And so many reports, they are spinning it in the media and in the daily news, like on the news cycles, as a case of mistaken identity. But the police chief himself, Neander-Cop, says that there was no call. He kept saying that during that interview. If y'all watch that again, he kept saying, yeah, well, there was no call to the police. The police were very, very close when they heard the gunfire. So you heard the gunfire, there was no call, so they're gonna try to spin it like it wasn't any call, but then they're also gonna try to spin it that it was a case of mistaken identity, identity that had to be called into you to get, or an identity that had to be revealed to you to get. So that police officer who shot EJ, he was a guy who was working mall security. So again, this is all about police defending police. It was a police officer who was just working mall security that day, but they're gonna have to put him to the fire. Once his identity come out, people gonna have to ask, okay, how did you get this description of the shooter? And if it was a case of mistaken identity, whose identity did you mistake? What identity were you given, and what identity did you mistake? If nobody's asking that, somebody out there in Alabama, if you within the sound of my voice, and you're one of the concerned community members out there, and you can get a narrative out in some kind of public way, make sure y'all beat the police officer over the head with that once he come out or she come out and explain what the fuck he or she was shooting at. What identity were you shooting at? And does EJ fit that identity? So I just helped out the lawyer's case if y'all want to get some more leverage on the case, but they're trying to slant this case in so many ways already. So I can already put together, it was a white cop that shot him, they hiding him, they letting him get out of the town, and they doing the same thing that they doing with Amber Guyger case out here. And at the end of that press release, they said the SBI does not release information in relation to ongoing pending investigation. So that right there tells us all we need to damn it know. Matter of fact, this shit should be called Amber Guygering, Renee Halling, and Faith Johnsoning, if you want to be precise. This technique of don't release the officer's name until the pressure mounts up so much to where you have to. We still don't know the officer who did the shooting, his or her name. This technique of don't reveal any calls to the police that was made, because there were calls to the police that was made. Don't release that to the public. Don't reveal the toxicology of the officer involved. Allow your officer to move around. You know what I mean? In this time period now, the officer is probably packing their bags, his or her bags, and leaving town under the cover of darkness right now. The officer that did the shooting. What else do? They send the jurisdiction of the case to another fucking agency. That's what we're seeing right now. I just want y'all to get an idea of what this process is. When we're dealing with cop shootings now, they get in front of the media and talk that transparency shit. In the ALEA press release, they talking that transparency to the media shit. They selling it to the media as them trying to be transparent. But Hoover, don't y'all be fooled, because they did that shit out here with Amber Guyger. And Faith Johnson lied and lied and lied until her last day breathing in that motherfucking DA office. So don't believe anything that they saying. They following a script that's being done out here in Texas. And if they know the script out there in Alabama, then it's a known script. This is how they playing the game. What else do? Oh, they say let the family and the public wait. You know what I mean? Let them live in agony at the evil that these white supremacist police cults will do. Let them cry and snot it up in front of the cameras and in front of the news, because they know in their heart that the officer is not gonna get charged, or the officer is gonna get handled like they are somebody special and they did a good job. That's what's gonna happen. This process, y'all, is what white supremacist terrorist regime gets a hard on for. This is what makes them squirt. This is what makes them bust off. Like I said, they have a psychosexual relationship with killing, and the agony they put you through by yanking your chain about the whole thing, that's something that they lust after. These are fucking devils. They don't want right to exist in the universe, so they gonna spin whatever machine they can in order to see that right doesn't exist in the universe. And as long as they got black coons like this Petaway character, he's signing on to the deal. He's signing on to being quiet. He ain't coming out beating on the heads of his cohorts. He's gonna be a weak-handed sheriff, I can already see out there. just like plenty of these other ass-kiss, higher-up Negroes. We already know what the white representation in these cases are gonna do. They're gonna be on team white supremacy. You know, I just want to point out too, man, y'all know that EJ, he was in the military, honorably discharged. Y'all notice y'all don't see our black vets getting on the police? Vets from all over. You understand? Since you motherfuckers think I'm playing when I call our black veterans do nothing vets. What the fuck is up with our black vets? Why they sleeping on this young man? Why they not coming out in force against the police? So I'm saying, like, where's the soul within our black vets to ride on the police when they shoot black vets? I need y'all military brothers to tell me, why aren't y'all riding on that police department out there? Why aren't y'all riding on the Hoover Police Department? Put that in my comments. Let me know that. Y'all, in my comments for every other goddamn thing else, well, let me know why black military vets ain't riding on that police department out there. Now. So I don't want to hear shit from these black vets, man. I'm not having it from them. All of they, no, brother, you gotta, cause see, white people, they was on us in the military, brother, and they didn't like us during the military, brother. Bitch, I know, bitch. But like I said, you come home to getting treated like shit, and your people get treated like shit. So why you love that fucking military so much? Maybe because it gave you some self-control when you needed it in your life. Yay, whoop-de-doo for you. But when your black ass is out here and you chest beating, you gorilla chest beating off of that shit, and everybody else, they military vets, they're so active, they do so much. And it's a shame. Our black military vets, every last one of them should be ashamed that they're in activity around shit like this. I'm more of a vocal person than a military vet when it comes to shit like this. I'm not a military vet, I'm just a dude who came up rough before it was even what you call it on my Tupac shit, alright? But I'm saying, like, come on. What the fuck is y'all up to? Why are y'all not riding for this young man out the gate? If y'all paying attention to what trajectory the case is taking, then y'all need to be on it. So you black military vets out there in Alabama, y'all slipping. I'm calling y'all out. Y'all slipping. Y'all doing some whole shit. This is why we say, black folk, it's real sketchy fucking with the military. And I'm not here to shame my brother EJ Bradford or his family. He's a victim in this case. He's a victim of a system that see black first. So motherfucker can't tell me I'm wrong when I did the P code talking about how the racism in the military, it just transfers over into civilian life. You motherfuckers think you escaping it just because you become a civilian, that your stock becomes higher after you get out of the military. No, your civilian stock didn't rise just because you came out of the military, black vet. If anything this shooting should tell you military cats is trying to be a hero during a crisis where white people are in crisis, just like all of your military tours that you took. It was all about helping somebody white in crisis, because it definitely wasn't for your black ass. Trying to be a hero during a white crisis is not a good thing. When white people are hurting, don't try to help them. It's not a good thing. Military experience or no, it doesn't reward you. It doesn't pay you back in spades like it do white people. It's a whole bunch of fronting going on from a whole bunch of the same usual suspects, and we need to expect this. And we need to play safe around them. Don't be helping them. Don't be a security officer. Don't be a police officer. Don't be in the military. Just keep your guns to yourself and ride when it's time to ride. Damn, how hard is that? Don't no other career with your gun have a potential to pay back you and your family and your life and serve you well in life. Besides that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, so you know when I'm dropping. Get it, y'all.